So imagine my joy when I'm scrolling through TikTok and I run across a TED Talk that specifically points out a story that involves good old Henry. So when I heard this story that I had never heard before, I wanted to sit back and, savor it for a while.
You know Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company? Well, he once took two job candidates out for a steak dinner. Both candidates were graduates of the same university. They were both really smart automotive engineers. They had the same GPA, and they were both practically geniuses. So after they finished their dinner, they walked out of the restaurant, and as soon as they walked out, Ford said to the one, "You're hired." And then he said to the other one that we won't be proceeding with you. Thank you for joining me for dinner, and have a good night. So the one guy was just baffled by that remark, and so he mustered up the courage and said, "Mr. Ford, can I ask you something, sir? We never spoke about engineering. We never spoke about cars. We never spoke about the university. We only spoke about general things. Why are you hiring my friend instead of me?" And Mr. Ford paused for a second and said, "Well, there's two reasons. The first one is that your friend tasted a steak and then he put salt on it. You salted your steak first, and then you tasted it. I like people who try things before they make changes. And the second and most important reason of them all is your friend was polite with all of the servers by thanking them and saying please, but they were invisible for you. You were only polite when you were addressing me. I only hire people who are polite all the time."
So, was this story true? So here's my take on it. The person that came up with the morals for the story had an understanding of Henry Ford, but it relied on the person that was hearing the story to not know anything about Henry Ford. Here's why. Okay, so first off, Henry Ford was a vegetarian, so him taking people to a steak restaurant was likely not his style. Two, Henry Ford didn't hire people this way. When you got hired at Ford Motor Company, back in the day, you would come into the hiring agency and they would place you at a low-level job, and you had the opportunity to work your way up. They didn't care if you were college educated or if you had just gotten out of Sing Sing. Everybody got the same opportunity, and everybody got the same broom to start with. If there was a pre-existing opening in Ford Motor Company, it was filled from inside Ford Motor Company. And the part that makes this the most unbelievable is the fact that Ford would give it the time of day to two college-educated candidates. I say that because if it had been any other CEO within the automotive industry, that would have made sense. But this was Henry Ford. It was Henry Ford's belief that college-educated people were generally taught what to think, not how to think. So seeing these two boys' resume wouldn't have been enough to inspire him to take them out to dinner.